Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Joseph Kimani. I'm gonna give you just a brief introduction of myself. I went to Kanga National School from 2019 to 2022, but currently I'm a medical student at the University of Nairobi, pursuing a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery course. And so I know you guys, you have been having some issues dealing with your sciences and mathematics, but I want to assure you now that you need not worry anymore. I'm gonna guide you through at my best until we see whether you're gonna make some positive change. Welcome. So today I'm going to do introduction, a comprehensive introduction to biology. Yeah, and then maybe later I'll be posting some other videos on chemistry, physics, and mathematics. But for today, we are just going to do a brief introduction to biology. Biology. So I want us to cover some specific areas on this section about introduction to biology. First of all, I want us to look on the meaning of biology. Then after looking at the meaning of biology, I want us to check on the importance. Why do you have to learn biology? Why is it being placed in the curriculum? And then now after importance, we are going to have a look at the branches of biology. Once we are done with the branches, we are gonna go direct to have a look at the instruments or apparatus that are used to collect specimen that is, and we're also gonna have a look at the differences between plants and animals, that is. Oh, and I forgot something. Just before we look at the apparatus, you are gonna have a quick look at the characteristics of the living organisms. So I guess now we are good to start. Let's start with the meaning of biology. So what is biology? So first of all, before we start, I want us to get this clearly that biology, in most cases, you are going to encounter some new words, but most of them are going to be in Latin. So okay, there are some other used in Greek, Latin, but mostly Latin. That's the worldwide accepted language to be used, especially in the next topic on classification of living organisms. Now, biology is derived from two Greek words. That is, we have bios and you have logos. The two words are the origin of the word biology. You have bios and you have logos. So bios is a Greek word to mean life, whereas logos is also a Greek word to mean knowledge. So once you know this, your life is going to be smooth as long as you study biology. Just know what are we dealing with. So now, if you sum them up, it's just the knowledge of life. But now, since for the sake of your exams, now you are going to have to have a maybe somehow detailed but a simple one explanation or meaning of biology, because be assured that, okay, for those from ones who are going to join, be rest assured that in your Cat 1 exams, not the Cat 1, but the first midterm exams or open exams, you are going to have to be required to maybe give the meaning of biology. Action. Okay, so we've checked the meaning of biology from the origin of bios and logos. Then you see that biology is basically the knowledge of life. But now, for the sake of your exams, I want us to have a very short and comprehensive somehow, but a simple definition of biology. So what is biology? So biology is a very simple term to define. Biology is the scientific, mark this word, scientific, is the scientific study of living organisms. Biology is the scientific study of living organisms. So, okay, I know many books will just say that it's the study of living things, but now I want you to be unique because, okay, for the sake of Form 1, they'll give you a tick, but as you progress further, maybe you reach Form 3, Form 4, they want to see whether you have gotten a real grasp of what biology is. So they are gonna have to need you not to use the word living things, but rather use living organisms. What do I mean by living organisms? Living organisms is basically that any, okay, we can phrase it like something that is living is something that has a proof of existence of life within itself. So just avoid the word of living, the use of word living things from the start. Just use the word living organisms. So now that's it. It's the scientific study of living organisms. If you use that one, you are good to go up to Form 4. There's nobody will gonna give you a wrong just because of rating that one. Yeah, so that's basically the meaning of biology. And now, guys, we can progress to the importance of biology. So, as far as we study biology, why did we have to put it in the curriculum? Why is it important? That's what I want you to ask yourself, guys. So I'm gonna take a look at maybe even for just enough importance of biology. What are the importance of biology? Importance of studying biology. How will it help you? What do you gain? How will you use it in your future careers, or what? How are you gonna use biology in our lives? Now let's see. Importance of biology. So biology, first of all, every time you see, like maybe in some schools at the end of Form 2 or end of Form 1, you'll have to choose your subjects. Maybe some will drop biology, some will take biology. So I want you to take a keen look and think, why will you take biology or drop biology? So the main thing that makes someone either to drop a subject or pick a subject is because they take a look at their career life. What do they want in their career, in their later life? So that's one importance. You should never miss that. Biology is a career subject. Biology is a career subject. It can open up your perspective into very vast fields. I'm going to list a few. For example, you can take medicine. It's a course. It's a part of your career. If not medicine, you can decide maybe to major in dentistry. That's another career you can take from biology. You can take also, there's another one called animal husbandry. I'm just gonna list a few. Animal husbandry. And you also have this other one called, you can be a teacher of biology. Teacher of biology. Okay, you can either put it as education into brackets. Teacher of biology. So biology is gonna open to you a very vast field of careers. Now it's upon you to choose. Those are just a few that I've listed for you guys. So first importance of biology, it is a career subject. And now, apart from being a career subject, we also have some few other importances of biology. I'm gonna point out the main ones. Apart from career subject, you can have to take a look at why do you study biology? Because through biology, we get to understand the development or the developmental changes that take place in organisms. For example, take a case in human beings. Human beings undergo various stages in their life. That is through from birth, they undergo adolescence. At another point, they have to undergo menopause and all that. So through biology, you have to study. You can have to understand how those processes take place, those developmental processes throughout your life. So to understand developmental changes that take place in human beings and other organisms as well. The third importance of studying biology, you can have to, now this is now concerning the whole world or the general world. Through biology we are able to solve environmental problems. What am I talking about? When we talk about environmental problems, I want you to think about problems like food shortage. Okay, in mostly the third world countries, you get that most of them are suffering from, famine and all that causes maybe loss of lives. But now through biology, you can get to understand on better ways of, on how to grow plants using the use of maybe some chemicals that boost their productivity, and as such you can maybe be able to solve some bit of food shortage. Now, apart from solving environmental problems, so far you have discussed the importances of biology. Career subject is maybe you can use it to understand the developmental changes that take place in the human beings, and also you can be able to solve environmental problems. Now, I want us to go on another area I wanted us to cover today. Yeah, and that's gonna be branches of biology.
Action.
Okay, now on the fourth importance, we didn't list the fourth importance of studying biology. So biology, you're gonna realize that throughout your biology, taking your biology as a subject in high school, at some point you'll have to go to the laboratory. And through the laboratory, you're gonna have to acquire some scientific skills. So through biology, we can acquire scientific skills. What scientific skills am I talking about? Now, for instance, in the next topic, in classification, maybe your teacher may ask you to go and maybe get a specimen from within your school area, and that specimen you'll have to take it to the laboratory. So now, which scientific skills are you going to use during this experiment? First of all is observation. When you go to the field, you'll have to observe that specimen. You have to look for that specimen. You have been told maybe it may be a beetle, or even maybe like a wasp or something like that. So you have to take a look of which organism am I supposed to identify. So you are gonna have to observe. You're gonna have to use identification skills. Those are two skills. Now, apart from the part of specimen, at some point you are gonna have also to use like something like reagents in the laboratory. And during the use of reagents, you're gonna have to measuring skills. You use measuring skills. You have to analyze at some point. That's analyzing skills, and several other skills. Those are just to mention but a few. Measurement skills, observation skills, identification skills, and analyzing skills. Yeah, so I think we are good on the importance of biology. I want now to go to the branches of biology, from which we're going to get I said earlier that biology is a very vast field, and so even later in life, if you want to specify in biology, you are going to have to specify a specific part which you want to deal with. Now that's where we get the branches of biology.
Action.
Biology is broadly classified into 3 branches. That is botany, zoology, and you have microbiology. But the main ones are botany and zoology. The microbiology, in some books you get it classified as a part of the 3 main branches of biology. So from biology you get botany, zoology, and microbiology. Those are the 3 main branches of biology. Now from botany, this is the scientific, remember that word, scientific, you have to be unique, scientific study of plants. What about zoology? Zoology is the scientific study of animals. So I'm going to put it in brackets. So botany is the scientific study of plants, zoology is the scientific study of animals, whereas microbiology is the scientific study of microscopic organisms. So guys, we have a lot of branches of biology, but these are the 3 main branches of biology. Have to know these 3 branches, because at some point the question will not ask you name branches of biology, but it will tell you name the main branches of biology. Then you are going to have to deal with this, especially these 2, botany and zoology. Now we can go to the other branches of biology. We're going to go maybe a little fast, but I hope you get me, guys. So now we said botany, zoology, microbiology. The other thing I want us to look at is anatomy. This is a very broad topic also, a very broad branch of biology. What is anatomy? Anatomy is the study of internal structures of the living organisms. Internal structures, mark that one. Internal structures. Study of internal structures of living organisms. Now, if you have a branch that is dealing with internal structures of living organisms, you also have to expect that we also have a branch that deals with external structures of living organisms. And what's that going to be? We're going to talk about morphology. And be keen with the spelling, because also biology, if you fail in spelling, you fail the whole mark. Take a keen look at this R between O and P. So morphology is the study of external structures of living organisms. External structures of living organisms. So that's morphology. Now we're gonna have to take a look at some other branches of biology. Now we go to ecology. What is ecology? Basically, a living organism at a particular point has to occupy a geographical area or a specific position. So now, when you talk of ecology, it's just the relationship between that organism with its environment. So ecology is the study of living organisms in relationship to the environment. So here we're going to have to take a look at the organism itself and how does it interact with its environment. Also environment, you have to know that it has an N between O and M. Be keen with spelling in biology. So that's ecology. Now from ecology, we are going to have to take a look at histology now. What is histology, guys? Histology now is the study of tissues. Just study of tissues. If you stay, you've asked what is histology? Just the study of tissues and you'll be good to go. Now from histology, you can have a look at something called mycology. What is mycology? Take a keen look at. This is not I, it's Y. Mycology. What is mycology? Mycology is the study of fungi. Mycology is the study of fungi. Moving on from mycology, we have another branch of biology called bacteriology. This is very simple. You can guess from the word bacteria. Is the study of bacteria. Just like that. Very simple. Is the study of bacteria. Now from bacteriology, I want us to have a look at some other branches as well. So
Action.
now we move on to entomology. What is entomology now? Entomology is basically just the study of insects. So whenever you are doing the study of insects, that we are going to call it entomology. From entomology, we're going to have to take a look at another branch of biology called physiology. What is physiology? Now physiology is the study of just how the body functions. If you just cite physiology is the study of body functions, you are going to be very right. It's very simple. Just the study of body functions. Now we move on to another branch of biology. I want to exhaust almost all of them so that in any case any branch is set, even if it's not in the KLB, then you guys, you don't have a difficulty at explaining the branches. Now we can move to ornithology. Have a look at the spelling. Ornithology. What is ornithology? You have an R here between the O and N. Ornithology. What is ornithology? Ornithology now is the study of birds. Whenever you are having a study of the birds, we're going to call that ornithology. Now moving on from ornithology, what is ichthyology? Ichthyology. ITCH. Ichthyology. It's a very interesting branch of biology as well. But this now is the study of, basically study of fishes. That's what we call ichthyology. Now we go to the study of biochemistry. Biochemistry. A very interesting branch as well. This is the study of chemistry of living organisms. Study of chemistry of living organisms. So in biochemistry, we are going to have to study, that's later, we are going to have to study the chemical reactions that take place in the bodies of living organisms. Now from biochemistry, you're going to have to take a look at another interesting branch of biology. So far you've covered ornithology, ichthyology, biochemistry, and now let's have a look at another branch called cytology. So here you can take a hint, maybe just look at the first letter of the branch cytology. This is basically the study of cells. So this is very simple. Cytology, the study of cells. Now from we covered physiology. From cytology,
Go.
now we go to the last three branches. You have genetics. Now here you have to take a keen look at Two very important words. Genetics is the study of inheritance and variation. Inheritance and variation. You're going to have to take this as a topic at Form 4. It's the study of inheritance. That's the first word you have to include in your explanation. And variation. That's the second word. From genetics we go to virology. Virology is basically the study of viruses. It's very simple. From the first initials, study of viruses. And lastly, we got taxonomy. What is taxonomy? Taxonomy is the study of classification now. How you classify living organisms into their groups, taxa, that. The study of classification. So guys, we are through with the branches of biology. There are around 18 branches of them. So I'm gonna just take a back step. Maybe you may need to take a screenshot or something. So yeah. So guys, let's finalize on the remaining objectives of introduction to biology. Yeah, we are remaining with characteristics, apparatus, and differences. Now going on to characteristics, we have several characteristics that are exhibited by all living organisms. There are several, so we are going to mention them out and maybe do a brief explanation or just definition of the characteristics. Now off we start with growth and development. So when we talk of growth and development, there are two different things. Growth is the irreversible increase in size, whereas development is the irreversible increase in complexity and structure of an organism. So growth is the irreversible increase in size, whereas development is the irreversible increase in complexity structure of an organism. That's one of them. We move on to nutrition now. Guys, keep in mind these characteristics are exhibited by all living organisms. So as long as it's a living organisms or a living organism, we are going to get these characteristics exhibited by each one of them. So if we talk of growth and development, we are now to nutrition. So nutrition now is the process by which living organisms, first word, acquire. There are two keywords, acquire and utilize. Nutrition is the process by which living organisms acquire and utilize food substances into their body metabolism. That's what we mean by nutrition. Process by which living organisms acquire and utilize food substances within their body metabolism. Now that we've talked of nutrition, let's talk of now respiration. What about respiration? Respiration now is a chemical part. Nutrition is just acquiring and utilizing the food substances. But when you come to respiration, it's the process by which food substances are chemically broken down into simpler food substances that can be utilized by the cells. So here you have to take quick note of chemically broken down into smaller substances that can be utilized by the cells. Now from respiration, let's go to another characteristics called movement. Now what is movement? This is yet another characteristic. Movement is the change in position of parts of a part or parts of an organism is the change in position. You have to take note of position, and it's a part stroke parts of an organism. Change in position of a part or parts of an organism. But now under movement, or else another term I want us to define here, we have locomotion now. Now we have locomotion. It's a bit different to movement, but almost similar but different. Now locomotion, the keyword here is the whole organism, is the change in position of a whole organism, from one position or from one geographical location to another, from one position to another. That's now about locomotion. Now moving on, we've covered growth and development, nutrition, respiration, movement, locomotion. Now we can go to gaseous exchange. So what is gaseous exchange? Gaseous exchange is now the process by which living organisms exchange respiratory gases across respiratory surfaces. So respiratory gases here, and when we talk of respiratory gases, we're talking about oxygen and carbon dioxide, and where they exchange across respiratory surfaces. So that's all about gaseous exchange. We are still moving on. We go on to irritability now. Another characteristics exhibited by living organism. What is irritability? Now, this is another good term. We have some few keen words to take a keen look at. Irritability is the ability of an organism first to detect changes in the environment and respond to them appropriately. Remember this keyword here, appropriately. It just, for example, if you take it's raining outside, and then you are out there, as a living organism, you have that urge to get under shelter. You have responded appropriately. Were it to be inappropriate, you would have moved to the negative factor, but now you moved from the negative factor to the positive factor. That's irritability now. So growth and development, nutrition, respiration, movement, locomotion, gaseous exchange, irritability. Okay, then the last characteristic here, we have excretion. Now what is excretion? Take a look at the spelling. Excretion is the process by which living organisms separate and eliminate. Process by which living organisms first separate, then eliminate unwanted free substances from their body metabolism. That's it about excretion. We are done with the characteristics. Just a summary: growth and development, nutrition, respiration, movement, locomotion, gaseous exchange, irritability, excretion. I'm gonna step aside, maybe you can have to take a screenshot of the characteristics before we move on to the apparatus used in collecting specimen. Now we move on to the apparatus used for collection of specimen. At some point you'll have to go out to the field, take some specimen, maybe as instructed by a biology teacher, for some especially during classification. Now there are some apparatus that we may be required to use, so I want us to take them and their functions. Let's start with the putter. What is the work of a putter? It's very simple. It has two functions. First, it sucks small organisms from barks, that is barks of trees, that is one, and also rocks. So let me just put it there. Its function is to suck small organisms from bark of trees and rocks. That's the work of a putter. We move on to sweep nets. So the work of a sweep net is basically to catch flying insects. That's the work of a sweep net. Now we move on to fish net. The work of a fish net now is to catch. Don't say fish. Look in here. Don't say fish. It's to catch small water animals. Small water animals. E.g. fish. It's small water animals. Then you can maybe give an example of a fish, but not catching fish. Now we move on to the next apparatus. You have a collecting jar. What is the work of a collecting jar or a specimen bottle? It's just to keep those collected specimens for use in the laboratory. That's the work of a collecting jar. Moving on from a collecting jar, we now move to the pitfall trap. What is the work of a pitfall trap now, guys? A pitfall trap simply is used to trap, or can use trap small crawling animals. Moving on from the pitfall trap, we have the bait trap. What is the work of a bait trap? A bait trap now simply, its work is to just be keen on these two words. It first attracts using the bait. It attracts and traps small animals. Attracts and traps small animals, e.g. rats. Now moving on from the bait trap, we have a pair of forceps. What is the work of a pair of forceps? Is simply to hold small crawling animals e.g. stinging insects. Now from the pair of forceps, we go to the magnifying lens. Now what is the work of a magnifying lens? It's just to enlarge. Maybe some of the specimens that you're using will be so small in size, so you have to magnify them just to enlarge, or to make small objects appear larger. To enlarge, make small objects appear larger. That's the work of a magnifying lens. Now we are done with the apparatus. I'm going to give you some short time. Maybe you may require to take a screenshot for the apparatus for collecting specimen. Then we'll move on to the last part of our lesson today. That's the differences between plants and animals. Now we move on to the differences between plants and animals. So while talking about the differences, there are two formats you can use to state the differences. You can use a table like this, plants on one side and animals on the other side, or you may decide to use sentences. In the case that you use sentences, you can use the words like while or whereas as conjoining adjectives, while or whereas. Now I'm gonna start with the first difference, then illustrate it using both the table and the conjoining words. Now let's start. The plants, let's start with growth. Growth in plants occurs in the apicomeristms. Growth in plants occurs in the apicomeristms. So in other words, growth in plants is localized. But now talking about the animals, growth occurs all over the body. That's in animals. Now, growth occurs in apicomeristms in plants, growth occurs in all over the body for animals. Now, using the conjoining words, you can say growth in plants occurs in the apicomeristms, while growth in animals occurs in the all over the body. Yeah. We move on to the second difference. Plants have chlorophyll, hence manufacture. Plants have chlorophyll, hence manufacture their own food, whereas animals lack chlorophyll, thus depend on already manufactured food by plants. You see? We're just saying they lack chlorophyll, hence depend on already manufactured food. Now check on the spelling of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. Hope it's clear. Chlorophyll. Double L mwisho. We have an L, R, double L. Now we go to the third difference. When you talk of plants, they exhibit movement. And we talk of animals, they exhibit both movement and locomotion. Why am I saying this? Because remember what you said about movement. Movement is the change in position of a part or parts of an organism. That's, for example, in plants, movement occurs when maybe folding their leaves, budding flowers, all of that, but they can't move from one place to another. But now talking of animals, they can both move a part or parts of their body, or they can move in the whole body can change in position from one point to another. That's the difference. Now we go to the fourth difference between plants and animals. That's on excretion. So talking of excretion, plants lack. Okay, alright, let's use simple excretory structures. But animals have complex excretory structures or organs. Plants use simple excretory structures, but animals have complex, or they have complex excretory structures or organs.
Stop.
Now the last difference is that, talking of plants, they have a cell wall, but when you talk of animals, they don't have a cell wall. They lack a cellulose cell wall. Lack a cellulose cell wall. So that is, guys, on the topic of introduction to biology. So you can like, subscribe and share for more, so that as we progress to the other videos I'll be doing on other topics, you'll get notified. And hopefully, let me hope that it has been of help to you. And let me see your comments, guys, below. Thank you.